welcome to What'll Happen in Karnataka, the one show that gets you the big and small developments from the one election that everyone is watching. I'm Aarthi and I'll be in conversation with my colleague Sugata. Hi Sugata.
Hi Aarthi.
So since we've all been watching this election, and one thing that I keep hearing from a lot of people is that probably we are going to see history being created in Karnataka post the election result. When an incumbent chief minister is actually voted back to power. So Karnataka has had this history of voting out incumbents since Ramakrishna Hegde's time. So after 1985, we have not had the same chief minister being voted in again. So I just wanted to understand, is this a very southern thing? Because we see this even in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, where, there is a tendency to vote out governments and the alternative, party is voted into power. So is this something peculiar to Karnataka?
Aarthi, this is not peculiar to either Karnataka or to, say, Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Andhra Pradesh. Even Kerala has sort of returned governments. You saw the communist government coming back with Achyutanandan and then Pinarayi Ravi, and then you saw Jayalalitha being voted back to power. And even in Karnataka, see, until 1978, when Devaraja was elected back as chief minister, he had won his first election in 72, then there was the emergency thing, there was a small period of confusion in president's rule, so he was elected back. Before that, from 1952 on, 47 to 52, you didn't have an elected chief minister. Changal Rai Reddy was there. But then 52 on, Congress governments have been returned to power subsequent every consecutive election. But in 83, there is this break. That is when Ramakrishna Hegde comes to power, and Ramakrishna Hegde does not come to power on his own. So he's awfully short of majority, and then there is the BJP helping him, the independents and the Bangarappa faction helping him, and all of that. So he is again returned to power in 85. Yeah. So then your logic goes for a toss. Yeah. Right. No, but so I'm not trying to target you.
No, I understand.
Why I'm trying to say this is a piece of astrological kind of thing that people try to sort of throw around most of the time without looking at the factual parts of it. And now you can if you are trying to build that kind of mythology about election results, then it's also possible to say that whenever the Congress has gone with one single chief minister for a full term, they have been returned to power. So you've seen that with Devaraja, you've seen that with people in the past, and before Devaraja. And later on, no Congress government has had one single chief minister. It's always been truncated terms. For example, you saw Virendra Patil's tenure, 89 to 94. That term saw three chief ministers, like you saw three chief ministers between 2008 and 2013 in the BJP government, Yadurappa, Sadanand Gowda and Jagdish Shettar. So the Congress governments, the Congress High Command, not given a very stable regional kind of political setup. They've not allowed that kind of a thing. But then whenever they have, see, Devaraja was absolutely free to operate the way he wanted because Indira Gandhi was in bad shape. And then S.M. Krishna similarly had an opportunity because the Vajpayee government, the NDA government had come to power for the first time, and he had a majority here, and he was free to do a lot of things. But then again, please remember, Mr. Krishna did not complete his term. It was 4 years and a few days. Say 200 days or 200 odd days. And he sort of dissolves the assembly and goes to polls early. And he still ends up getting around, a decent double-digit number.
Congress wasn't vanquished. It came back.
It came back because, you see the Dharam Singh government coming back. It was a coalition government that was happening in Karnataka for the first time with the participation of Janata Dal secular, where Siddaramaiah becomes deputy to Dharam Singh. So if you look at it, you can also sort of build this logic that if you give one chief minister, if you complete your term, Karnataka's people have assessed the performance of that government and voted them back to power. So Siddaramaiah is on good wicket as far as that is concerned, because one, he is completing his term. He is making tall claims and reasonably correct claims about his performance in the last 5 years, because the performance of the BJP government prior to him was atrocious. So there is very good chance that he'll return to power. So if you are speculating about alternate setups, one, the logic is not straight and fair, and two, there is every chance that this time he may come back as the chief minister, because he has completed his term. If you use the same totems, astrological totems, he's completed his term and has been the only chief minister for all the 5 years.
What I found very interesting from what you're saying is actually that every time the Congress has been weak at the center, for different reasons, the regional leaders have found it easy to actually create space for themselves.
Right.
So again, we are seeing the Congress is at a low, at the center it's facing one of its most difficult times. And so we are seeing the rise of this very strong regional figure in Karnataka. So I found that...
Absolutely. See, that was the case with Devarajaras.
Yeah.
That was the case with S.M. Krishna. And that's the case with Siddaramaiah. So there is very good chance that whole thing may happen. That is, an incumbent government may be voted back to power. But there is also another way of looking at history, that is electoral history, and also the larger political narrative that has been created by Karnataka, or let me put it this way, the manner in which Karnataka has changed the national narrative innumerable number of times. Okay. And Siddaramaiah, very interestingly, and it's a coincidence that he's again, at that particular juncture when Modi is weakening, or it appears to sort of been caught with, lost his
that halo around him.
Halo, absolutely, and that sheen is missing, and he seems to be in some kind of caught in some kind of I wouldn't say trouble, but then there are too many things which are crisscrossing, and there's a lot of confusion. There's no clear energy that's being passed on between him and his and his electorate. So there may be disruptions in 2019, and Siddaramaiah is just at that juncture now, where if he wins, it's very, very likely that he'll change the national narrative. So a lot of political analysts are speaking about Karnataka's win being very crucial for the decline of the BJP at the center. But interestingly, Aarthi, this is not the first time that such a situation has been offered or is at the threshold of Karnataka. This has happened. I was just playing this little game, this history game, and I realized that Nijlingappa, who was then the All India Congress Committee president, and then there is a split in the Congress, and there's Congress O and Congress I, and Devarajaras comes in and then sweeps the polls in Karnataka.
This is in the early 70s.
Early 70s,
yes.
And then the whole national narrative changes because of his kind of presence there and support to Indira Gandhi, right, and all of that. And then again you see this national narrative being changed. It's happening through Karnataka when Indira Gandhi post-emergency contests from Chikmagalur.
Yes.
So she's down and people think she's also out, but then she revives herself in Chikmagalur and goes back, and then the government that you thought was the most wise government, the Janata Party government, just crumbles like a pack of cards. And so she goes back and wins and then comes back to power.
So Chikmagalur became a symbol of the revival.
Symbol of the revival of Congress. Yeah. Devarajaras became a symbol of revival of the Congress, or giving independent strength to the Indira faction of the Congress. And then if you come to say the 1995s and 96, 97, that's around the time again P.V. Narasimha Rao has completed his term, and there is this coalition government that has to be propped up.
Right.
and Deve Gowda becomes a sudden
Unexpected.
and unexpected choice.
Yeah.
For the first time again, the national narrative changes if you're looking at the Congress, because the Congress for the first time lends outside support to a coalition. It's not that it was happening for the first time. Rajiv Gandhi had also given outside support to the short-lived Chandrasekhar government, but that was more in terms of an experiment. But this looked like a sustained model, and it looked like the Congress was fully into the coalition era. And coincidentally, there was a Kannadiga at the center of it. And then if you look at the VP Singh regime in 1989, that's Rajiv Gandhi losing, the Bofors thing, and all of that happening. See, the whole mobilization of that thing, of the United Front, the coalition that happened, all of that happens in Karnataka. You see them coming together here, and Karnataka becomes that center of political activity. Ramakrishna Hegde is supposedly the brain behind the whole thing, and then there is this holding of hands and lifting it, and the whole big message going out, and N.T. Ramarao and Devi Lal and all these people. Karnataka is again at the center, and Ramakrishna Hegde very ambitiously puts this whole coalition together, but unfortunately he loses that election in '89 in Bagalkot from a little known person. Sidhu Nyame Gowda defeats him, but he's still accommodated at the center by VP Singh, and he becomes the deputy chairman of the Planning Commission. So that's again another event where Karnataka has played a very key role in changing the national narrative.
1999 when
yes, that's
Sonia Gandhi contested
absolutely.
from Bellary.
Yeah, Sonia Gandhi contesting from Bellary again. So she's a new chief of the Congress party, a reluctant person who's come into politics, and she's trying to find her feet, and she finds her feet in Bellary. So she's contesting from Raebareli and Bellary, and here she sort of campaigns very, very energetically, and defeats a very strong candidate called Sushma Swaraj.
Yeah, that must have been a fantastic election to cover.
Fantastic, yes. So it was, you saw Indira Gandhi revive herself in Chikmagalur in '78, and you see Sonia Gandhi coming to Karnataka seeking for some kind of, revival, or because the Congress, the NDA government has BJP-led coalition government at the center has started breaking the Congress citadel, and she is being accused of being a foreigner. Amidst all of that, Karnataka, the electorate in Karnataka, just rejects all those insinuations and puts her there, elects her.
And now the circle is sort of
and
completing
now the circle
itself,
looks like it's
because Rahul Gandhi is coming back again to Karnataka to seek a
revival for the
Congress nationally.
Yeah, I think one other little thing, to be fair, also should be mentioned, which is when Congress was reduced to whatever it was reduced in 2014, the man who was put there at the middle in the Lok Sabha to take on Modi was again a Karnataka person, Mallikarjun Kharge. And his parliamentary performance has been extraordinarily good. So he again sort of shielded the Congress when it was at its weakest. So that is another very interesting thing. And now you see Rahul Gandhi, looking at Karnataka with bated breath, hoping that Siddaramaiah wins the assembly polls, and if he wins, that Siddaramaiah might as well alter the national narrative again. So there's something about Karnataka.
No, we can write an alternative history of the Congress, looking at how
only
it has
Karnataka, absolutely.
Karnataka, yeah.
So there's something. This is, I don't believe in all these phrases that people on the other side use, which is Punya Bhumi and all that. For probably for Congress, it is a Punya Bhumi. Who knows? So that's how I've just been playing around with these things. See, please don't look at it as serious history or whatever.
But it's fun.
It's fun to sort of juggle around with all these things and put them in a certain kind of fashion and arrange them in a certain fashion, and they start looking very different. This is you started it all, so you should be blamed, because you asked me if the subsequent, incumbent governments are never
No,
elected.
that's just something you keep hearing everywhere. I mean, this is one of the things that keeps thrown around. Say, oh, is he going to make history or is he not?
Right.
So I thought it was just worth asking whether, is there such a...
No,
is
but
that-
I'm really surprised that people speak categorically when they say these things. But when you look at data, when you look at the context, they're not so categorical.
That's true. I mean, that's
Yeah,
absolutely
right.
true.
So they make it look like it's axiomatic. It's
Yeah.
the truth that is there and
Yeah.
it's being spoken about. But it isn't true.
It never is. When we say, for example, this is a Muslim seat or a Lingayat seat or
It
a
isn't
Dalit
that way
seat,
too.
these are just reductionist phrases which
Absolutely.
I don't know, some of us have
Absolutely.
got used to,
Yeah.
using in our copies, and it kind of becomes the myth about these.
Yes. And there's also probably a very intelligent spin that the mainstream media, most of the mainstream press, has capsized and, operates with a certain kind of fear about the BJP. So probably it's also, it was their way of trying to tell you that, trying to be on the right side.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe.
So that's how it is.
Yeah. So great, Sugata. It was fun thinking
Thank
of
you.
different models of historical development, political development. for
Thank you. Well,
states.
we should have fun with elections. I don't
Yeah.
think we should take them very, very seriously.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Thanks, Sugata.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching this episode of What'll Happen in Karnataka. We'll be back with more soon.